Hello, welcome to ETTO's Catch-Up.
Freaking did it, we're here. Keep your arms and legs at each other.
You hear that, everybody?
We're next to each other.
Yep. That wasn't Josh just clapping.
Nah.
That was me clapping Josh.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Well, it's two hands coming together.
Yeah.
That's a clap.
What a clap.
That's a clap.
It's a high five, but it's a clap as well.
Yeah.
I guess it's a form of clap.
Like if you do this a lot,
Yeah.
it's a clap.
It's a two-person applause.
Yeah, and I hope that you're all doing that for us for this 8th episode of ETTO's Catch-Up. We've done 8 of these. This is the first one that is available visually on our YouTube channel. You're probably watching it here right now. You can listen to it audibly on all the different places, but visually it's generally available only to our patrons. So if you enjoy what you're about to see, sign up to the Patreon, just a $3 tier, and you get to watch this every week.
Yeah.
Apart from last week.
And it's the first one that we've been able to do in person.
It's true.
Together, next to each other. Which is sick. It's wild.
It's only going to go down from here.
Absolutely.
Is what we're saying.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched one of these before, generally do a little bit of news. We do an ad break that doesn't exist. And we get some questions from you. And we also recommend some stuff. So sit tight. We've got all that coming up. I'd ask how you been, Josh, but I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's swathes of this podcast that don't function the same anyway.
It's true. It's
anymore.
True. We had a bad day yesterday too.
It started bad.
Great.
That's true, yeah.
So
it's podcast material.
My day started with Will knocking on my door about 5 minutes before my alarm was about to go off.
For audio listeners, this is a knock.
There it is. There it is. Thank you. And I was like, hey man, and you were just like, hey. I'm like, why did you do that? I don't understand. So I had to double check. I'm like, did you knock at my door or did you knock on something else? And I just assumed.
Yeah.
And then there was a bit of hesitation in your voice where you were like, I don't even remember what you said.
I think I said something's bad or something like that.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I should get up and find out what the hell's going on. And turns out we thought that there was just gushing water in the walls of our apartment.
Yeah.
Because that's certainly what it sounded like. You literally thought that I was having a shower before I had said that I was going to get up.
Mm-hmm.
Basically what had happened is the pipe for our washing machine burst at some point, just a little bit.
Tiny little.
Tiny little bit, but it sounded insane.
Yeah.
So it was just this spray. We don't know how long it had been going for, but it was leaking through the roof of the foyer downstairs. We need to double check that.
Yeah.
And it was quite a morning. And then we went to the fridge. The fridge light didn't turn on. And I was like, I don't think the fridge is working.
Yes.
So I had to redirect the power from behind the fridge to a different part of the kitchen just to get the fridge to turn back on again. And then later I was trying to replace a light globe. And the light globe just shattered in my hands.
Yeah.
It was a day.
It was a big day.
But it was also a great day because we saw Shang-Chi.
We did.
We went to a comic book shop and each spent $200 to $300. Just catching up over, 3 to 4 months of not being able to go to comic book shops.
Went through IKEA.
Yep.
To Kmart.
Yep. We had to check into IKEA.
Yeah.
To walk directly right to go downstairs from IKEA. To go to Kmart and check into Kmart, and then to leave the shopping centre, we had to check into IKEA to go up the escalators to then go to the car park.
Yes.
We were in the IKEA vicinity for probably less than 5 seconds at a time. We had to check in because the people wouldn't let you pass.
Well, that's because we were just sneezing the whole time. As soon as we walked into IKEA, we were like, it's Swedish everywhere. I'm allergic to Swedish.
Allergic to Swede.
Yeah.
That's it.
Meatballs.
That's it.
But it was good. It was good to get out and about. We also had a lovely Mexican with a very funny man that just kept making noises.
We had a lovely Mexican.
We did. Yeah, I said what I said.
All right.
And it was, he just, every time he brought out food, he had a new noise to greet us with.
Yeah. It was like, the first time he was like, sweetie, sweet, 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 sweet. And then there was another part where it was like,
yeah, when he gave you your doggy bag.
Yeah, because I of course didn't finish my food.
Yeah.
I never finished my food.
Yeah.
So yeah, he boxed it up for me and he was like, here you go. What is happening?
It was very bizarre, but
it was amazing.
He was a lovely dude.
Love Melbourne. Oh, I missed it so much.
No, it was a good day, and it's not a wreck, but it is a wreck. I know that a lot of the country is now getting out of lockdowns and stuff, and it's very scary to be out and about.
A little bit.
But be out and about.
Yeah.
If you can do it safely, avoid any, bad areas that have come up on the maps and stuff, but plan just a day out and just do things because you will sleep soundly. That's the one biggest thing. Once you're out of lockdown, you have the greatest sleeps in your life because you're actually using your brain, you're using your body. Mm-hmm. It's like there's so much of your existence that you kind of put into hibernation for the past 6 months that's why you don't have restful sleeps, because it's like, your body's like, you don't need it. You haven't done anything.
Yeah,
so get some social interaction into you because that's what wears you out.
There's that rec at the top of the pod. We're wrecking the thing already.
Talk to people and have Mexican.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Should we talk about what's happening around the world, though? And the little thing called you forgot about the Sting, didn't you? That just says news. It just says news. It doesn't say you forgot about the Sting, didn't you? That's not the name of this segment.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah. You were so ready to talk about your news.
What a weird segue. But yeah, this is literally around the world because this is happening in Germany or has happened in Germany. This has been a thing for the last 24 years in Germany. Nintendo 64's GoldenEye has been banned in Germany.
Yes.
Until now.
Interesting.
It's just recently been unbanned for some reason.
What did they do?
Initially, it got banned because it was designated as media harmful to young persons. But
and there's never been anything harmful in Germany.
No, certainly not.
All of this,
but someone has just randomly stepped in. No one knows who or why. To get this unbanned.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's no longer banned from being sold, advertised, or marketed.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
But it says to minors. Specifically to
children.
To children.
Yeah, right.
Which is a bit weird. But whatever. So 24 years later, after it being banned, someone's jumped in and done this, which is very weird because according to Eurogamer Germany, things are banned for 25 years. So it was going to be unbanned next year automatically anyway.
Good. Great.
But someone stepped in, which leads to speculation.
There's like some sort of rebooty.
Is it Nintendo doing it because they want to put it on their
thing.
64 online subscription, which currently isn't great anyway, apparently. But maybe they're stepping in to get it unbanned because they want to do it soon.
Yeah.
Before
next year.
Before the 25th year.
Maybe focus on making it functional first.
That would be best.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, right. That's interesting.
Yeah. So
I love that there's some mysterious person, but it was actually Mario. They're like, who made this unbanned? And it's just they turn the camera and it's a me.
It's a very just interesting, it's been 24 years, but it was going to get unbanned
next year.
Next year, so why?
Someone rushed it.
Yeah, what are the reasons why it needs to be done now? Nintendo just announced the thing. Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I can't think of another reason why someone would want to do it.
The entire game is going to be inside IO Interactive's James Bond game. It's just going to be like a Nintendo 64 somewhere in a room, and you can just boot it up and play the entire game.
I love it when games do that too. And they're like Wolfenstein games and stuff. You walk up to a pipe and it starts playing like the original game or something for some reason. There's no explanation to it, but I'm pretty sure there is a pipe on a building where it starts...
Right. Weird. Good. Yeah. But that's interesting. That's good to know. I love my Bond games. Speaking of that, I just want that IO Interactive. I want to know more about that. But something we did find out more about this week, of all weeks, the week that Guardians of the Galaxy came out, there's more Marvel games coming. And this one is coming from the most of the prestigious, the most. That's what Amy Hennig's official title is.
Okay.
The most prestigious, the most.
Okay.
Yes. This is coming. It's a brand new Marvel game from Skydance Media, which basically only started their interactive division earlier this year. And Amy Hennig is helming this. Mm-hmm. She is obviously the person behind the 3 amazing Uncharted games and also Golden Abyss. There you go.
Most of them.
Yep. And left during I think she was around when Uncharted 4. She wasn't involved. She left during that.
Okay.
And there was kind of rumors that something had gone sour there, but she just left. She just wanted to do her own thing. But also at the same time, it's probably Druckmann, because there's a lot of weird stuff with that dude.
Yeah, okay.
There was probably some sour stuff there. But yes, for now, Amy Hennig, we basically know nothing apart from a quote, which is that announced today, which is not today. It was a while ago. It wasn't today. Okay. It was like
a couple of days
ago? Friday.
Right. Okay.
It wasn't today. But in this wording, it's today.
Okay.
Just FYI.
I understand.
It wasn't today.
I think I got it.
Okay. Announced today a partnership with Marvel Entertainment to develop a narrative-driven, good, blockbuster action-adventure game, good, featuring a completely original story, good, and take on the Marvel universe. That's the most interesting thing is take. An original take. And in an original story, that's literally any of them.
Yeah.
But an original take is interesting, again, because it's like the Guardians game is separate from everything. The Avengers game is separate from everything. Marvel's Spider-Man is separate from everything. Wolverine is part of the Spider-Man universe.
Yeah.
Marvel's Son, completely different. It's like, it's a little bit sad that it's all separate.
Yeah, it is.
But it makes sense. It's like if the MCU was still being developed by like Paramount and all the different companies that used to own the characters.
Yeah. A take of the Marvel universe?
It sounds like they're going to do something weird.
It sounds like a what if. It sounds like they're making a what if game or something.
Totally. It's, weird. Like, cool. In my brain, you almost want the take to be, it's comic booky. Because every other one is like realistic. But that's not a take. That's doing it right. There was a further quote from Amy Hennig, which is, I can't imagine a better partner than Marvel for our first game. What an amazing thing to say. Imagine being a brand new studio, your first video game's a Marvel video game.
Freaking dream.
This what you want. You go from tennis to Tigra, which is a DC character. I was trying to think of a T character. Come on.
Thor.
Yeah, I just looked at your thing and it says Thor there. I saw a T and I'm like, Thor. Good. She followed on and said the Marvel Universe epitomizes all the action, mystery, and thrills of the pulp adventure game, adventure genre that I adore, and lends itself perfectly to an interactive experience. It's an honor to be able to tell an original story with all the humanity, complexity, and humor that makes Marvel characters so enduring, and to enable our players to embody these heroes that they love. Heroes. So possibly multiple. And also, she's basically describing, I love making the Uncharted games, I want to make one for the Marvels. Like the idea of pulp adventure. That's basically the thing.
Yeah.
So the only extra piece of information we have is a tweet from Janina Gavankar, who I can never say her name, but she was Versio. Like, look at those words. That's just a bunch of letters, right? But she quote tweeted this Skydance thing, and said, I'm excited to be a part of this, and I'm excited to finally announce it. Which I don't know if she was supposed to, because literally no information, there's no release date, there's no character-based stuff, there's nothing. But she's in it. Yeah. And assumedly high enough in it that she wanted to announce it, so probably one of the protagonists.
Yep.
I'm like 90% sure this game is a Daredevil game, because there's been a rumored one, and she kind of looks like she could be like an Elektra. So I'm that's kind of where I was leaning.
Cool.
But then Amy Hennig's talking about like humor and stuff, which I don't know if Daredevil will really have that. So where I would like to land with it, of everything, because there is a Wolverine, there's a Spider-Man, there's an Avengers, there's a Guardians. I kind of would love if this is an Ant-Man and the Wasp game. Because I feel like a Paul Rudd type is a Nathan Drake type that she would be able to write for very well and play with. And again, Junior, I think, could be a Wasp very easily, kind of fit into that. And obviously a different, it's a person of color as the character as well, which is always a good thing. So yeah, I that's kind of straight away when I saw all of this, Ant-Man game was kind of where I was at, because the Avengers game is just not going to try to do that. It's never going to happen.
Yeah, no one will touch that for a while.
No, if they ever get to Ant-Man. But it's just like, it's a very good video game idea, especially in the next gen era where you have Ratchet and Clank and the idea of the portals. If you have the shrinking ability, it's like you could have two nested worlds in a game world and be shrinking through.
You could have three, because you could go giant.
That's true, and a giant one as well. There's a lot of potential in an Ant-Man and the Wasp game. Yeah. But yeah,
I have four and go freaking like nano.
That's true.
Go way too small.
The quantum realm.
Sick.
But yeah, very exciting. Exciting that we've got Marvel games just coming out of everywhere now. And for me, exciting that there's one that isn't Marvel Midnight Sun, because I just don't give a shit. Let's take care about that game.
I'll play it. Whoever's making that game.
Yeah. But yeah, exciting. More Marvel games.
Very cool.
What's happening in your news sheet that looks like you wrote it in a code-based node thing?
Yeah. I tab all my stuff out just like code and everything. This is how my notes are for everything. Every time.
Good.
Let's go from one Marvel to another.
Exciting.
This is a very short one, and there's a video component to this. So if you're listening to it on a podcast, jump over, have a listen.
Yeah,
you'll hear the audio anyway.
It's true.
But we can also describe what's happening in this too. But basically, what if the ending of What If, the TV series recently on Disney Plus, was spoiled the day after the release. So the first episode was released on August 11. This trailer is on Hyundai's YouTube channel on the 12th of August.
Yeah.
Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Crazy. So basically, it's an ad for the Tucson, Hyundai Tucson.
Yeah.
And it's a car ad with a whole bunch of characters fighting a bunch of villains. Let's have a look at this thing because
it's wild that they put this thing up. Yeah, here it is.
If time and reality are a construct, what if we could rebuild it?
It's just crazy.
Everything.
Yeah.
We did. The all-new Hyundai Tucson. Marvel Studios' What If original series now streaming.
It's very funny.
It's so weird. So basically, you've got Captain Britain, T'Challa, Star-Lord, Dark Doctor Strange, and Party Thor fighting a bunch of Ultrons. And Party Thor comes in through a portal.
Yeah.
Swinging his hammer, but driving a Hyundai Tucson.
It's very odd. And yeah, I do remember it launching because it was the question of whether this all would cross over in the show. And spoilers, it does.
Yeah.
If Hyundai hasn't spoiled you yet, I'm glad that we could.
And they're all fighting a bunch of Ultrons.
Which again is something that all the trailers did not feature.
Yeah.
The idea of Ultron.
So apparently that wasn't that newsy because people knew, but I just saw it for the first time.
It's a good bit.
That's nuts.
It's a bit silly. And because it's also all the shows on Disney Plus so far have had a Hyundai ad, but all of them have been very like a bit like a cool side thing. But this is the first one where it's like, there's story details, guys. Why?
That's so funny.
Yeah. So have a watch. There's a good playlist. There's one of Anthony Mackie as Captain America in the full costume.
Sick.
There's one of Loki stealing a car. There's one of Wanda changing an old Hyundai into a new one. It's like it looks like 50s, and then she does the thing and stuff like that.
Did the Falcon and Winter Soldier one come out?
Way after.
Okay.
All three of them came up after the shows came out. Yeah.
Sure.
But What If, I guess because they must have just bulk released them and the What If one was part of that spread, they just put it up. I'm praying that there's a Hawkeye one with the car scene. It's like the car goes past and then a Hyundai drives or something like that.
Car.
It's easy. It's all there.
It's good.
But continuing on with crossovers and two kind of movie-based games were announced last week, or leaked last week, a bit of both. And I bring these up because I think a couple of episodes ago we were talking about how much we loved movie tie-in games.
Yes.
And so they're kind of coming back around, one more better than the other. The first one that could work is a Quiet Place game, which is a three-way collaboration between Illogica, Saber Interactive, and a third studio, which is Epitome, which is mainly known for comics like Saint Mercy.
Okay.
Yeah? You're going to open an app?
Logica.
There you go. Is that the SpongeBob one?
It's the SpongeBob game.
Christ. So, really weird spread of developers. The only one that kind of makes sense out of all of those is Saber, who published World War Z, and that's getting a sequel, and also published the Evil Dead game. Both kind of horror-based stuff. Both kind of the style you would probably expect A Quiet Place to go down.
Yeah. And Illogica, famous for the SpongeBob game.
And SpongeBob has killed many people.
It's true, yeah. Just a horror. He's an absolute horror.
He's terrifying.
For anyone who wants to know, it's one of those like cooking games where it's like orders come in and you've got to like really quickly. It's like your
Cooking
Overcooked
Mama
type thing, or your Cooking Mama sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's one of those games, and I've been playing it for months, and it's sort of...
Josh is the only one.
It's so good.
But
thank you, Logic. I love it.
there you go. Well, maybe we could team up with them and they can get us this game early. That would be good. There's no extra information on this apart from that it is going to be within the world of A Quiet Place. I kind of hope it does, similar to the Evil Dead, similar to the Friday the 13th game. Mm-hmm. It's kind of asymmetric. Some person's the silent, creepy monsters.
Yeah, cool.
And then you can like be the family, and because each family member kind of has their own role to play in fighting against them.
Yeah.
Like that would be fun. I feel like it might end up being more Friday the 13th in just like miscellaneous people fighting against the villains.
Yeah. Okay.
Just because, I don't know, John Krasinski and Emily Blunt are probably expensive in terms of a license. But on the other side, it is John Krasinski's movie. So in terms of, it's like, it's him.
Yeah.
It's his wife.
And he seems super chill about everything. He just seems like, let's do
it. It's fine.
I'll just make a webcam news show over COVID.
Yeah.
And then sell it for millions or billions or
make a lot of money. And I'm sure this will make a lot of money. I'm intrigued. I hope it leans more on the movies than not, because if it doesn't include those characters, I feel like it's just another horror game off the week. It's like there's so many games where it's like, be quiet from the monster that's tracking you, and like it's not Prey, but there was a game Evolve. There's so many of those kinds of fight the monster.
For sure.
So hopefully it leans heavier into but we don't know anything about what it's visually going to look like or anything like that. But the other one, which is the shit one, is the Warner Brothers Smash Brothers, which is all but confirmed.
Right. Yes.
By now, we got this. It was kind of rumored, and then there was in the way it's the same as Spider-Man. There's like there's a leak that might exist, and then like an hour later, it's like here's a picture. It's real. So a roster got leaked, which includes Steven Universe, Adventure Time, Batman and Harley Quinn, Superman and Wonder Woman, Gandalf, Rick and Morty, Tom and Jerry, which is a very funny two things
Rick
to read.
Morty, Tom and Jerry.
Yeah. Bugs Bunny, and then a bunch of new characters, which people are wondering if, these aren't attached to any IP. They're very visually unique compared to everyone else.
Okay.
So people are wondering if there might be a bit of a Fortnite-esque story that drives the characters together, and these other characters are part of that roster.
Yeah, okay.
Which is cool. It could set it apart from, the Nickelodeon, the actual Smash Brothers and stuff, but this is from Jeff Grubb, old mate Jeff Grubb.
Jeff Grubb
mentions that the game, from what he has seen, looks cheap and is free to play, and that all future fighters will be sold as DLC, including LeBron James, which is not surprising considering Space Jam.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, it's kind of not going to be good, and this is the kind of angle that I'm like, not all movie tie-ins are worth it. You don't have to flood the market just because they exist.
Yeah.
And I would love to know when this started, obviously because of the Nickelodeon game. Did they see that existed, start working on this, and are just going to punch it out the door as soon as possible?
There's been a few of these recently, haven't there?
Yeah.
These in kart races.
Yes.
Just for some reason, the last couple of years, it's just been
miscellaneous characters.
And they're so cheap and crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're all trying to reach Nintendo's level, which we were saying just before we recorded this.
Yeah.
That Nintendo has such a high polish for their games.
Yes.
And generally their hardware.
Yeah.
But then anything else that they do outside that is
it's just rough.
Usually pretty rough.
Yeah.
The new expansion stuff for Nintendo Online, and the Nintendo 64 Sega stuff is apparently
not working very well. Yeah. So
nothing is just reaching that level because it keeps seemingly being given to pretty unknown studios that don't have I guess anything to back up the style of game, maybe.
Totally. And the All-Star Brawl is apparently doing pretty well, the Nickelodeon one.
Okay.
It's apparently a fairly fleshed out fighter.
Sure.
Everyone has different movesets. Something like this, I'm sure most of them will fight the same but with a different weapon. Apparently there's a good variety of moves across the characters and that.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I just think it's a bit silly.
Yeah.
Especially it being... It's almost like it should just be a Space Jam game because it is so intrinsically tied to Warner Brothers, not a specific thing.
Sure.
I don't know. I would love to know what this is going to be called because Warner Brothers on a box set or like on a game box doesn't entice.
Yes.
Like you'd have to think of something very clever to kind of culminate all of these different, like Rick and Morty and Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
Like it's a wide berth there.
Yeah, I feel like Warner Brothers hasn't sparked excitement for a long time. And it's not just the DC stuff. Like it's just they're just not that.
They're not an interesting
exciting
company.
or interesting anymore.
June though, they made June.
Like Warner Brothers.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, but it's actually the first movie with their new logo, and their new logo is like, because you remember the old one's like a sexy, big, thick Warner Brothers, and the new logo is like a two-dimensional thing, and so it's like, this is not the movie to start with your weird cartoon logo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is funny.
It's kind of like when DC changed their logo and it used to be like kind of cool and 3D looking, and then now it's just like flat.
2 letters. Yeah. Yeah. Idiots.
So uninteresting.
But there you go. Two more games from movie stuff. We got Marvels, and we got Quiet Place, and we got the entirety of Warner Brothers. There you go. What else has happened, Josh?
Well, going from, Nintendo's polish to, I guess, Nintendo letting down a community, but one man bringing it all back.
Mario.
We're going over to one of my most anticipated consoles of all time.
Yes.
The Playdate.
He will never shut up.
I'm so excited. I'm so damn excited. Freaking pre-ordered one next year.
Yeah,
baby, it's coming.
It's happening.
But there was a game on the Nintendo DS, I believe.
Yep. I don't know yet.
Not quite a game, but like an app, more of an app called the Flipnote Studio.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
So it's basically like a flip book. So you can you create different pages. You draw different pictures on each page, and then I guess you hold one of the triggers on the console, or just an arrow, and it will flip through, and you'll have a nice, cool little animation.
Yeah.
So that disappeared a while ago because of the DS shop closing and all that sort of thing in 2017, which left a lot of those animations that people had made and were able to share through that system and through that service to just only exist on the consoles. So they were no longer shareable and watchable unless you like had it and went, this is my DS.
Show it to someone.
Yeah. So in enters a man called James Daniel. Double name.
That's true. You could go either way.
There you go. So I guess he's double the man.
Yeah, I think that's how that works. Yeah. You choose it at birth. Do you want to be 2 men or 1?
Yeah. Double name, double man.
Double man.
That's it. So this guy previously created a web-based version of the DS app.
Yeah, okay.
So that people could still get the data off and then share that. Actually, no, sorry. I don't think he made. Let's backtrack. Nintendo made one.
Yes, okay.
Which they then ignored and
didn't do anything with. Yeah.
So once again, they removed it. No one could share anything. They went, here you go. Here's a thing to share them. And then they removed that too.
Yeah. Good.
Something.
Great.
Bizarre.
Thanks, Nintendo.
So then James Daniel, double man, he created a web-based version of this in 2018.
Yeah, okay.
Which is very cool. So people could share it again. And recently he got his dev hands on a Playdate.
Yep.
And he's made a player in that.
Amazing.
So you can now get your DS ones.
Yeah.
You can share them online and you can get that data into the Playdate and play them.
My God.
But one of the weird things that I was thinking about and then quickly had to look up, Playdate doesn't have a touchscreen. So it's only a player.
Yeah, okay. So you can't make them.
Yeah. So if you still have the app on your DS, you can make them.
And share it to it.
And then get them off, share it, and then...
Yeah, right.
It's a bit of a weird roundabout thing.
Yeah.
But it's apparently gotten like hundreds or thousands of replies and retweets and stuff. And the guy's this is insane. Like, I wasn't expecting this, but okay, I'll keep developing this and I'll try and get it out ASAP on the Playdate.
I mean, Nintendo fans are ravenous for like really obscure things.
Yes.
If you can get it back into existence.
Yeah.
You'll just, they'll emerge.
Apparently.
So they did.
So there you go. Super weird thing. But we do have a little video, which is a example of this working. And it's
Kind of looks good it looks cool.
It does look it looks pretty schmick.
Yeah.
And then
that looks awesome.
Frame rate looks amazing. The animation they've chosen is probably very, very good and smooth.
Yeah, you can see how many. It's 81 frames.
Yes. So if people don't know, the Playdate is this little square Game Boy looking thing, but it's got a crank on the side. And so he's made it so that when you crank the side of it, it goes through all the animations, which is very, very cool.
God,
such a sick little thing. It looks crisp as hell.
That makes me. I wonder if they'll release like a tiny little attachment that has like a tiny little tiny little trackpad that you can draw on with a pen.
Yeah.
Because there's so many games that can use that as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's like a Wii U. It's a little Wii U that you can attach to the thing. Like a secondary little thing.
That would be cool. Yeah. I also wonder whether maybe like this guy will release the web version so people can make it.
Yep. Yeah, but not need a Nintendo to do it. Yeah.
Pretty much. So they can make it all there, and it will package it up in the same like data structure, the data way, like the file, whatever.
Yeah,
and then they can still share it and do stuff in it as a workaround for not needing the Nintendo.
Get your Wacom out.
Hell
do
yeah.
some drawings.
So cool.
That's sick. That's very cool. That thing continues to be the greatest console ever made.
It's so good. I'm so excited.
Good. All right. Well, we gotta come down and just do an ad break first.
We do. Yeah.
So let's do that now.
Sad
with it. This is the ad break.
It is. Yeah. Give us something to freaking advertise.
Hang on. We say it every week, but we haven't made a place for them to do it. We yell at them to do it. There's no Discord thread. There's no it's our fault. Or you know what? We've talked about it with Ben. It's Ben's fault now.
All right.
It's all on Ben.
Bloody Ben.
It's not. Ben, if you're listening to this, it's not on you. But if you want it to be, it can.
But this is a section where if you have something to advertise, or you just want to give a shout out to someone, one of your favorite creators, one of your friends who does some Twitch streaming, something like that, your own Instagram if you're doing something cool, let us know. We'll shout it out.
I don't know if he still does it every Tuesday, but Termus does wrestling things on Tuesday nights. Maybe he doesn't anymore, but he did for a little while, and he's on Twitch. There you go.
Maybe I spoke to him on the phone the other day. Maybe I didn't.
Maybe he didn't.
Maybe he was lying the whole time.
Well, imagine if it was him.
That would be amazing.
What a twist. What a twist. He went... Because it is a security risk if someone's like, you sound like your username. Like, imagine if you had his Dota skins up. Yeah. And you just needed a vocal confirmation.
Yeah.
It's like, is this Termus? And then you just put it to the microphone and he goes, yes, this is Termus. And then he just opens his Steam page and just you're in.
Incredible. Yeah. So good. So Termus, we just gave you a shout out. There you go. This is the advertisement. Maybe if our fans don't give us stuff, we'll pick some. We'll advertise them. Yeah. We'll advertise their things.
Yeah. So if you don't want to be advertised on here, delete yourself from the internet.
That's it.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah. We'll advertise every freaking one of you.
Yes. You've got no choice. Mm-hmm. Shall we Wawa?
Let's Wawa.
Let's Wawa.
What Warner Brothers characters you want in effing weird ass Warner Brothers fighter?
Yeah.
That was from Dolphin Pants. Badly worded.
He's still learning how to talk.
He's still learning. Are we both looking up Warner Brothers?
I'm currently typing Warner Brothers IP. I mean, the first one that hasn't come up yet, but the one that wasn't on there, I feel like Harry Potter has to be in the game, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Like a Harry Potter and a Dumbledore or something. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's a definite. I want to see if there's some weird random stuff.
Lego.
Yeah, the Lego. Yeah, that would be great.
The Lego stuff would be sick.
The Lego stuff.
I want a Lego fighter now.
Yeah.
That would be great.
I feel like
they've got all the IPs.
I feel like there was, and it was Apple Arcade exclusive.
Interesting.
I feel like there was some sort of Lego brawler that I was disappointed I couldn't play.
There have been some.
But
Hitman.
I'm looking at films. The Mortal Kombat's, which is also a game.
Yes. But I saw Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat inside a fighter. That feels like a fun thing to do. You could fit Godzilla and Kong.
That's cool.
And I mean that's kind of the world. It's maybe one of the maps is a burnt out Tokyo and Kong and Godzilla are fighting and then occasionally break parts of the map.
Yep.
That could be good fun.
I'm looking at your screen and I'm seeing Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes.
That would be pretty great.
Robert Downey Jr.
We got Hitman.
Yep.
Hitman would be an interesting one. We got Scribblenauts.
Scribblenauts.
That's kind of cool.
Ready Player One opens a big door. Just literally any character.
It totally does.
They could almost. You could almost have. What's the main guy in Ready Player One? Ty Sheridan comes up, but they don't even give you his goddamn name.
It's like Arceus or something, isn't it? It's
Wade. Wade is his real name.
This is okay.
Yeah, but whoever Wade is in the thing, he could almost have a Rhino 8 gun that he could bring through.
Yeah,
like Shadow. Is it Shadow or Ghosts that they have in Smash Brothers? Like that could be. Yeah, that could totally be a thing.
Yeah, Tenet.
I was about to say Tenet.
So stuff goes forward and backwards in time weirdly. I like that.
I like
fun.
Gremlins. Just like you can like almost like Pikmin, you could just control like 6 of them.
Freaking Scooby!
It's weird. Was Scooby-Doo not on the roster? Surely, I know. Actually, he is because
he is.
It wasn't in my list of things, but Shaggy is on there, and so they're definitely going to play the Shaggy card. Yeah, the ultimate crazy Shaggy.
Shaggy card.
Yeah.
The guy from The Shining.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I meant his character.
No. I want Jack Nicholson in the game.
Jack Nicholson.
And you can equip like a Joker skin, or the Shining skin, or his character from Anger Management, or his character from that Tom Cruise movie where he says you can't handle knowing the accurate thing. Mm-hmm. That was, I think, the line.
I think it's pretty close. Yeah. I would love to see The Nun.
Do you just want to see the movie? We could do that. That's not hard to do.
We could do that. I don't know if I'd actually want to watch the movie though.
Yeah.
I would love to just have a nun in there for some reason.
But could it be I know you want that one, but could it be like Whoopi Goldberg instead?
Yes.
Yeah.
Even better.
I think
imagine that.
I don't think they own that, but they can make it the horror nun, but Whoopi Goldberg does the voice line. That's a good question. Thank you, Dr. Pants.
Good fun, yeah. And relevant.
And very relevant.
Love it.
He was on the ball. I am not. I'm going to open the link. I'm going to open the link now.
It's doing it. It's doing the thing.
I'm going to do, it's another Dolphin Pants, but pitch a what if episode. Assumedly of Marvel What If.
Ooh.
If you could change one thing. I'll pitch that what if they didn't make the finale shit? But that's a big ask, I think. I think what if Quicksilver didn't die? What if Quicksilver died and Hawkeye? What if Quicksilver survived and Hawkeye died? Ooh. And then what would Quicksilver add to like Infinity War and Endgame?
That's cool. I like that.
Because I wonder like, can the Stone stop a speedster? Because they didn't have anyone that's fast as a thing. Like I guess maybe Thanos could track with the Soul Stone where he is or something. But I feel like there's opportunity there to catch him unawares. And like, can he just tug fast? Which sounds terrible. But can he just tug the glove off repeatedly very quickly and just rip it off his arm? Yeah. Because like they have to just do a general thing. But if he's just like yanking it really fast repeatedly, I'm saying it. And then he comes off. Yeah. I legitimately I'm intrigued to know what Quicksilver could offer to those two fights.
Because they didn't have a speedster in the end. So could Thanos even handle that?
Yeah, like who knows?
He couldn't in What If when Ultron was just like bang.
That's true. Yeah, he wasn't very.
Ultron was so quick.
He can't think on the fly.
Yeah.
So like, let's keep Quicksilver around.
That'd be very cool.
And likewise, what that would probably do for Wanda is she would never go insane.
It's true.
Even if Vision dies during Infinity War, she's at least got her brother.
Yeah. She hasn't lost everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
That could save her character.
I like that.
Have you got one? I've got one other one.
Okay, yeah. I have a couple as well. I'll go with the first one that I thought of, which was it might not be like specifically MCU-esque.
Yep.
But I would like to see a version of the MCU universe where it's not the Avengers that we know, but it's the X-Men like, they each have their own movie and then they come together as a team. Yep. And then seeing how that changes.
If that was but like the same premise of the threats? Is that what you think?
So, yeah.
Like how would they deal with similar circumstances?
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That could be
That would be cool.
kind of cool, especially just for, a one-off episode.
You
can
just to have all the characters in there. Yeah.
Snap through them pretty quick.
Speaking of Snap, my second one, I think I've got one more, is the easiest one, and I hope they do it. I feel like they will, is like, what if the other half of the MCU heroes were snapped?
Ooh, yeah.
So that you keep your Star-Lords and you keep your Scarlet Witches and stuff. What would happen? I just think that would be interesting, and I think that it would be a very different circumstances. But the very ironic, I wonder if he was. It's still the question of whether Scott was saved in the quantum realm, but it would be interesting because the solution may be the same. Because if he is saved in the quantum realm, he still wouldn't be snapped. And so it's like he would still come out, and there would still be Shuri or someone that would be like, yeah, let's do time travel. So I think that's where the what if episode would be like a bit of a groan. They'd be like, whoa, all of them, but then it's still Scott. They're still like, he was saved, and so they wouldn't do much with the idea.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it would just be cool to see what the relationships of and what those characters get up to in that big gap, how they change as people. Because you would have a Bucky and a Sam, so would one of them become Captain America in the gap, and all those kind of little bits and pieces. I think that would be fun. And it feels like that feels like the easiest one that will probably happen.
Yeah, okay.
At some point in one of the series, for sure.
Yeah, that does sound cool.
Yeah.
My second and probably last one for this question would be, I guess, kind of similar to the one I just suggested, but what if the characters established themselves as characters in the original order that Disney was planning?
Yeah, okay.
So Ant-Man was like the first MCU hero that came out.
Like Shang-Chi.
We were saying, Shang-Chi was also going to be a super early character. Yeah. How would that have changed the trajectory of the MCU / just the universe? Like, totally.
And again, they exist. So they can use Paul Rudd and Simu and stuff and just make it how it would have. Yeah, that feels like, again, an episode they could do, which is the Loki invasion, but with that changed lineup. Yeah. Like Captain Marvel as well was supposed to be in that original lineup of people.
Yeah.
I wonder if they would use that universe that's got a Captain Marvel, America, and Black Widow.
Yeah.
And be like, in this universe, we needed more Avengers, so we've got Shang-Chi and Ant-Man and stuff, and they're brought forward.
Yeah, cool.
Like there's a universe waiting for that lineup, basically.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That'd be good fun.
That would be cool. I just want more Simu. I want him to have some fun with Shang-Chi. Yeah. And then the last one is just, what if Jason? No. Why am I saying Jason? Is it Jason Hammer?
Jason!
It's Jason Hammer. It's a J, isn't it?
Justin.
What if Justin Hammer was just not underutilized for the rest of the universe? I'm sure he's in Armor Wars and Thunderbolts and stuff, but I just want him to. What if he was like involved in Iron Man 3 and like?
Yeah, cool.
What if him and Obadiah were together in on the first plot?
Yeah.
Like, what if he was a bit more of a threat throughout Iron Man's history?
Yeah.
Which again would be a good episode for them to do to tie it to when Armor Wars comes out. It's like. You're seeing him doing that thing, but it's also like, hey, he's also over here, and like we're having fun with Army Hammer. No, that's the one that eats people. The actor. Why am I forgetting the actor? He's amazing. It's fine. Find the next question. I'll remember the actor.
Jason.
I
have one. So someone actually. Oh man. So someone actually.
Sam Rockwell. Sorry.
Rockwell. Yeah. He's so freaking great.
He's very good.
Someone actually asked for proper advice.
Oh no.
Yeah. What a disaster. So someone actually said, what are your tactics, application techniques, and priorities when looking for new work? I had one where I've had some good comments about it, and I worked on this sort of application thing with my sister because she's very good at like visual design and stuff like that, and I'm very much not. But my resume it explains everything in a way that sort of looks like code.
Yeah.
It's still readable for a normal person to just look through. But for someone that is a programmer, like things are tabbed out. Stuff looks like functions or variables or It actually looks like code. So I tried to make it, because I am a programmer, I tried to make it relate to my job and make it, stand out rather than just here's a piece of paper with a list of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool visual elements.
Be like, look, I'm a programmer. Here's a little bit of fun. Mm-hmm. You'll remember this. And I've had good comments. Yeah. Like I've had people go, hey, this is actually really interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry you didn't get the job. But just have a little bit of fun, like still make it professional.
Yeah.
But do something just a little bit interesting that they will remember your application, which I've heard a lot in different ways. Like put it on, like if you're handing them out, put it on like colored paper.
Yeah, okay.
Spray something on the paper so it smells nice. Things like that, just to make that stand out
amongst the crowd.
Yeah, a bunch of just white pieces of paper or random emails or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Do you have anything?
No. I've never applied for a job.
That's true.
It's not easy for me to give this piece. The only thing I'll say is just keep trying at every other one. It's like you say, if it fails, just keep going and generally a lot of the people that knock you back will give you advice on the application. As much as we can give advice, get advice from the people that don't accept you.
Yeah.
Because they'll always tell you why.
Yeah.
Generally, unless they're a shit person, in which case you haven't missed out on anything.
That's troo.
If they're not going to help you, they're not a good employee.
Yeah. So one of the jobs I went for earlier this year, I emailed them back after they knocked me back. Yeah. And I was like, totally understand, because the interview did not go well even on my end. Yeah. Like I am aware that I didn't do very well. Can you give me some feedback? And they were lovely enough to not just like type like, do this. Yep. But they were like, cool, can we call you tomorrow? Yeah. I was like, sick. Yeah, that's cool. The only company that contacted me and went, yeah, we'll call you tomorrow. And they were super lovely. They were super understanding. Yeah. We just had a really good chat, trying to help me progress in my experience and my knowledge and knowing what they were looking for and what other companies were probably looking for. It was just super helpful, and I would love to maybe work for that company in the future.
It puts out a good vibe from them. So definitely. What we're also saying is if you're a company and someone's trying to apply, be nice to that person. Yeah. Always.
I also saw a really cool thing on LinkedIn recently that was like, if you're like a lead or, in charge of a bunch of people, be that position that you wanted your superiors to be when you were a junior.
Yeah. Yeah. So
like, if you're a lead programmer, be the lead programmer that you would have wanted when you were a junior programmer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like be easily accessible, be nice, be encouraging, that sort of thing. Yeah. Like it's such nice advice. Like I hadn't thought about that before.
It always boils. It's just the whole be like treat people the way you want to be treated.
Just be a nice freaking person.
Yeah. Don't be a douche.
Absolutely.
#, don't be a douche.
There you go. If you want some more, this is from Anon, but if you want some more advice, hit me up, I guess. Will's never applied for work before. No. But I'm happy to chat to you. Yeah. And I recently just got a new job. So
it works.
Will help.
Whatever he's done works.
Yeah.
And the last one comes from BMAC, which is, are you in a mood for a new game or the comfort of an old classic? And I'll say, I think I wanted an old game until I started playing one of the game that we'll be talking about in but a moment. Because there was a week or two where I just didn't want to play a new game. The idea of starting a new game and having to learn all the bits and pieces just didn't sound fun to me. And it happens every now and then. Every now and then I'm like, I don't think I like video games because I just get burnt by the idea of, because they're so big, they're so, and that is the beauty of what this year, and you've experienced it, so many indie games.
So many.
That just do one thing and let you enjoy that one thing. So I would say I'm very rarely in the mood to play anything. But there's a new game that has certainly brought me back around to the idea of jumping into big games. But always in the mood for an indie, I think, is the truth of it.
Yeah.
I'm always happy to look at a thumbnail and be like, I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I think more recently, because I have played so many indies, I've been really excited by the idea of another big AAA game.
Yes.
Which I have just recently started as well. We'll talk about it soon. But like also games like, Deathloop and stuff. Like I've been excited to play those, especially since you said it was so good and it's gotten such high praise from different people. I've been super keen for that, but I do love a little nostalgia hit, but just every now and again. I don't generally go back and like replay old games unless they've been repackaged and are more accessible now.
Just to experience what they've done.
Yeah. And like, I am insanely excited for the GTA remaster.
Yeah.
I'm very, very excited because those were huge in my high school years. Just not having any money, but having initially just GTA 3 and Vice City as a collector's pack.
Yeah.
Played that non-stop over and over and over and over and over again. Actually never finished one because I got stuck and recently found out that I was like 2 missions off finishing that game.
Yep.
That's painful to hear. Even with cheats, I couldn't finish that game.
Yeah.
And then, Vice City I knew that game back to front, could play it in a day or something. And it's a big game. And then San Andreas, when that came out, that was just so many times bigger than the others, so much more to do. They expanded on it in so many different ways, and that was my new game that I played over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I'm very, very excited for that.
He is.
But I do love like new games, fresh sort of new stuff coming out. It's very exciting to see where these developers are pushing, especially like next gen consoles and things like that, and taking familiar IP and doing cool new things with it.
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about that by hitting this. All right, it's time to wreck some things, and let's just wreck, but also not wreck because we're not wrecking it because it's not bad. But we're wrecking it because it's good. Like we're not wrecking it. We're not saying, I want to punch this thing and it sucks and I want to break it. But we're recommending it.
Yes,
is what we're Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's so good.
It's very, very good. If you're still somehow on the anal fence about it, just play the thing. It is not the Avengers video game. It is not a cash grab. It is not just a retread of the films. And I think Josh's head may fall off if I say another thing it isn't, so I'll leave it at that. It's very, very good. It is a return to a version of gaming that I legitimately don't think I've played since like The Lost Legacy.
Yeah, okay.
Like unless maybe Shadow of the Tomb Raider, that was alright as well, but it's just like it's just fun action that is a video game that knows it's a video game that like isn't trying to do anything else but entertain you, which very few AAA games are okay with doing nowadays. Yep. Even, like you mentioned, Deathloop, it wants to entertain you, but it also is like doing things that aren't relevant. There's upgrade trees in this, but they don't really matter. But there's elements of that are so separate to what the idea of the game is, whereas the core of this is so present the entire way through. Yep. It's so much fun.
Yeah, so I've only played like 2 chapters. It seems to be like 10 or more, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I'm very, very early on.
Yeah.
I stopped at a point that seemed okay to stop at because that game does not give you a nice point to stop in.
No.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's from what I've played, the very minimal amount of that game that I've played. It seems great. In hearing you and Ben talk about it yesterday, even the upgrade trees are fairly small.
Yes.
So they're not these they're not going to take you forever to get through. They're not like a huge main focus or a grind fest to try and get through.
It's just a few things that you don't have that you can get.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
It seems like a good minimal version of these bigger RPGs. It's just like it's an RPG that Will likes.
Yes, and that's a very small spot. And I will say, it's not even that it's a Guardians game.
Yeah.
Like, obviously that helps and it's fun that they're there.
But it probably got us to play it.
Totally, yeah. It's definitely, if it's Squeenix, if it was a Final Fantasy game, we probably wouldn't have picked it up.
Probably not.
But they're so good as characters is separate to the fact that they are the Guardians of the Galaxy. They're actually very engaging characters in a video game sense as well. Like we keep saying every time we talk about it, they're talking all the time.
Yeah.
And all the dialogue is incredibly well written.
Yeah.
Like it's all moment to moment.
I'm seemingly fairly like consistently unique too.
Yes, totally.
Like, and there was things. So Will has been playing it for a few days now. I started it on Friday night.
Yes,
I think
Saturday. Yeah, Friday night.
Friday night.
Yeah.
And yeah, only played a couple of hours, but there were times where my mum texted me, so I just put the controller down for a sec, grab my phone, quickly message her back, and then there was conversations that would just happen.
Yeah.
In that interim that Will had never heard because
I just kept going.
He just happened to not stop at that point in time. Maybe there's dialogue that I'll probably miss because you might have stopped at some point and I didn't.
Totally.
Things like that. And there's so much in here seemingly that you could miss because if you just stand around, they're like, let's chuck some filler in.
Yeah.
And they're full conversation.
Yeah.
It's not like a one-off like, hey, Quill, what are you up to?
Yeah, and then no response.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's like they are full conversations between multiple characters filling in this thing, and they're almost always relevant to where you are.
Totally. Yeah.
Where you actually physically are. Like, you can go off to the side.
Yeah.
You'll be like, hey, Quill, where you going?
Yeah.
And you literally oh, I'm just seeing what's, behind this air vent or whatever, and you literally have just gone behind an air vent.
Yeah. It's very good. It's very good.
It's very Uncharted.
Yeah,
like
it's
Uncharted
totally
do
Uncharted.
that all the freaking time.
Yeah.
Their dialogue is so consistent and relevant and interesting and fun.
Yeah, Amy Hennig, we love you. And even just like in terms of the polish in this thing, there's a little bit of jank here and there, but not the worst. But in terms of you're saying it is about physically where you are, even in the sense of where the audio is placed. Because a few of my play sessions have been with headphones on, and it's like as you're moving, it's very clear Drax is in that room, Rocket's over there, and so it actually sounds like they're yelling across a ship.
Yeah, nice. Good 3D audio.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. And visually, I think it may be one of like I think it could look better than the Spider-Man games just because they were built for PS4 and up-resed a little bit for PS5. Okay. Like particles and animation are definitely where that game shines, but the world was created for PS4. Whereas this really does feel like a next-gen game. Yeah. There's people who have tried to like switch it. Even it doesn't run well on performance mode, like 60 FPS chugs a lot in it. And I think I've heard that it's not great on previous gen. So
it's out on previous gen though?
Yes. Yeah, cool. It's on everything and the Switch, remember? But it's a cloud version.
Yeah, that's right.
But it is a visually impressive game as well, which it's like everything that I don't know. It's weird that we did, but Ben, I feel like you as well, and we all went into this expecting the bare minimum. Yeah. And it's just trumps it. And it's not even the fact that our bar was low, because the bar was low, but then they just like exploded. It's just beyond. Yeah. It's beyond impressive.
Yeah. It's so much more fun than I think anyone was expecting. I've heard a lot of negative stuff leading into it before the game was released.
Yeah.
But now that it's here, most people, I think, are looking at it pretty positively. Yeah. Except for some people that just can't get past the fact that it's the Guardians of the Galaxy and they hate like Chris Pratt humor.
Yeah, and James Gunn.
And they just assume that this is that. Even though it's not, or sometimes it kind of is, but it's delivered in a better way or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just enjoy things. Just have fun, everybody.
It's fine. What else have you been having fun with, Josh?
So since you got here last week, we've seen 3 movies.
We have. Yeah.
So we saw Shang-Chi last night.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah. I don't.
But I famously like everything.
Yeah.
But first up, the night that you got here, we watched Free Guy.
We did.
It was great. I've been hanging out to watch that for you to get here so that I can watch that. And loved it. So much fun. So much fun. So another I guess person that some people just hate because they are over that sort of humor. Yeah. But it's just a lot of fun. Great.
It's the best version of him as well.
Yeah, great video game references and stuff like that. It's very good. Go check it out, Disney Plus.
It's free if you've got it.
Just go check it out.
Yeah.
And then also on Disney Plus, we watched, finally, it's something that's been on my list for so long, Raya and the Last Dragon.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh
my goodness.
Good.
So freaking fun. Ah, man. Just visually gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it, but it's just so much fun.
Like, as I said, I think it's close to a perfect animated movie that isn't Spider-Verse that I've ever seen. It's just, it doesn't waste any time.
It moves. It's moving.
It moves, and all
it's not too fast.
No.
But it's not too slow. So it's like...
Yeah, you don't... it's like near the end is when you go, holy shit, we haven't stopped. But you're not like, I've missed something. You just suddenly realize that the pace of the movie is just wild.
Yeah, I think one of the good things about it is there's not like many threads going on at one time.
Yes. It's just one fetch quest.
It's fairly just, yes.
That's all it is.
It's just linear.
Yeah.
And you get these other characters and their backstories, but it just happens along the story.
Yeah.
Like they're integrating finding out about the characters, not through like, huge flashbacks and then they're going over here and doing this, and then these guys are going over here and doing this.
They stay
different experiences. Yeah. It's all very linear, but there's just kind of like a little out and then back in again to like bring it back to the main idea. Very good.
It's so good.
Very, very well done.
I don't know what just happened, but my brain switched off and I suddenly could taste the Widowmaker from GG Easy. And it's like my whole... I left.
We haven't been there since April.
Yeah. And it just suddenly, I just remembered that we're going to have one on Friday. Well, I'm going to have one on Friday, and I'm very excited. But yeah, Raya's really good.
I'm going to have one.
Yeah.
That'll be my first.
Yeah, good.
My first bubble tea ever.
Hell yeah. It's so good. It's so milky. Speaking of milk, you're going to love a video. Yes. But yeah, Raya's amazing. It's so good. And again, it's on Disney Plus, and it's not part of the premiere thing anymore. It's free there. So if you got the subscription service...
Is there anything on Premiere right now?
I think everything's unlocked because Cruella and Black Widow and stuff is all.
Yeah.
I'm
pretty sure whether they would consistently have one thing on Premiere at all times.
I don't think so, and I think it's pretty much dead now that COVID's kind of apart from whatever the new Delta variant is. But that's good. Any other things?
I have one more. Do you have any?
I've got one thing.
Okay.
Well, I've kind of got two things. I'll say it's a book. It's called Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, who wrote The Martian. I'm like halfway through that.
Okay. I thought I recognized the name.
It's very good. It's also got Ernest Cline on it, which almost made me not want to read it because he was like, I love this book. And I'm like, Jesus, you've got the knowledge of a 3-year-old. So I don't know if I want to read it, but it's very
funny
good.
Because I was literally looking at Ready Player 2 on my shelf today, and I'm like, I'm going to read that too.
Yeah, I've got my copy in there as well.
Do you have Ready Player 2?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do you have Ready Player 1?
No.
Okay.
I think I read your copy.
Probably.
Yeah, but yes, it's not...
I haven't even read my copy.
Yeah, you listened to it, which is also a way to watch. Both Gus and Nick listened through this book. I think they started reading it and then...
Project Hail Mary?
Yes. And then went on to listen to it. And I don't know, I can't do audiobooks. I can't do podcasts, so fuck this thing. But this is really, really good. It's definitely written... Again, similar to The Martian, but in an Ernest Cline way where it's very much written as the character is thinking. Like the I don't even know if I want to say what the premise is, but there's a lot of confusion for the first couple of chapters of where the character is and who the character is. So it's a lot of like, who am I? Why is this thing? And then there'll be a flashback and it comes back and he's like, okay, so I know this, and this. It's not like structured. It's literally just he's learning things about himself. And so you are at the same time. So it's like reading a journal is kind of how it feels.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Which The Martian was similar as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, really, really good book. And it's an easy read. It's a thick, the scale book I've got, it's one of the kind of thicker ones, but it feels like you will burn through it in the same way you would kind of a smaller scale book.
Sure.
And because similar to Ready Player One, because it's so colloquial, it's like, it's easy to read.
It's like a conversation almost, yeah.
So that's really good. And I can't remember if I've recommended this before. I think I wrote it and I never did. Mm-hmm. But the Paul McCartney series on Disney Plus. Have I talked about this before?
Is that out?
Yeah. Not the movie, not the Let It Be movie, or the Get Back movie. But there's a series called 321 McCartney. And it's him and a famous producer that's just got the most facial hair you've ever seen.
Interesting.
And it's all black and white. And they just sit at a mix desk. And there's also a piano and a guitar as well. And they're just like going through his entire discography and just like bringing down levels and focusing on elements and just giving stories about like, why is the piano so different to the guitar? And Paul's like, well, this is why we did this thing. And there's like a great moment, which I'm going to find for you later, where I think it was Hey Jude, and they bring down everything but Paul's voice. And as they do it, you just hear, ah! And he's like, well, I've never heard that before. And so there's like some great little stories and stuff in there. And it's beautifully shot as well.
Nice.
So that's Disney Plus. And I think there's 6 episodes. They're about half an hour each. So well worth a listen.
Cool.
Yeah.
My last one, go buy a Raspberry Mars bar. I'm about to do it.
Good.
I just saw an ad for it on YouTube, and my goodness, am I excited.
Yeah.
It's the nougat part seems to be like pinky raspberry flavored.
Yeah, okay.
So excited. Just go buy one. That's the end of the podcast.
That's the end of the podcast.
That's it.
That's the normal podcast. If you watch through all that, you can also listen through all of that on your Google Pods, on your Podbeans, on your wherever else the things are.
Spotify.
They're all available on those places. And the video component, which you got for free this week, is usually $3 over on the Super Secret Discord, $3 a month. And you can get to watch all the things. So patreon.com/each to their own. That's all you have to do to get some exclusive stuff and early access to things like milk. We drank some milk today.
We drank some milk. Oh yes.
Maybe it was good. Maybe it was bad.
Maybe
we'll find out.
Maybe
find out.
Go watch it. Nerf people.
Yeah.
And if you want to see more from us, we do a bunch of streams during the week. Pretty much every Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And now that you're here, it's going to be so much more fun.
A little bit more consistent.
It's going to be consistent and weird and just. I feel like it's just going to be like.
Heightened.
Yeah, just wild. It's going to be a lot of fun. But yes, that is it.
Yeah.
Hopefully more streams other than that, because we're setting up this room to just be something where we can just consistently do that and just jump in and do it.
Absolutely.
Now that we're together, we can play games together. One person play a game and show the other person, which is a thing that I think we should do pretty soon.
Absolutely.
With a little mouse boy.
Yeah.
Come check that out. And now that we are together, there'll be so much more YouTube stuff over at youtube.com/each to their own. And the Twitch stuff is twitch.tv/ettonline, ETT online.
Yes, that's right, everybody.
Yes.
Thank you, Mitch, for pronouncing it correctly. Just straight out. He just
Mitch,
knew. He just
love
knew.
You.
Mitch Buez, if you want
little-
to see some drummer boy.
Yeah, little drummer boy.
He's a good dude. But that is it. That is all the podcast we have for this week. This week, I thought I'd throw that in there. That's it. Thank you so much for listening and for watching. And Josh, how is that?
It's cream.
It's cream.